You stopped answering. Not all at once. It happened quietly, one conversation at a time, one unanswered call at a time. One name you looked at and thought, not today. And here's the strange part, you do not miss them. You thought you would. Everyone told you that you would. They said you would feel empty. They said you would regret it. They said cutting people off would make you lonely. But you sat in the quiet of your own home, and the quiet felt like a gift, not a punishment, a gift. So what does that mean? Are you broken? Are you cold? Are you the villain in someone else's story? No. And by the end of this video, you will understand exactly why you are the way you are, not as a flaw to fix, but as a story that finally makes sense. There was a version of you that nobody talks about, the one who showed up every single time. The friend who answered at 2 in the morning. Not once, every time. The one who sat with people through their worst moments. Who listened to the same problem for the 5th time. Who gave the same advice, watched it get ignored, and still picked up the phone the next time it rang. You were not just available. You were a lifeline. People knew that about you. Some of them counted on it. Some of them, and this is the part that took you a long time to admit, some of them used it. They did not call to connect. They called to unload. And when they were done, they left. Until the next time they needed somewhere to put it all. You were not a friend. You were a place. A soft place to fall that never got asked how it was doing. And you kept showing up anyway. Because you believed if you just give enough, they will finally give back. They did not. And one day, you stopped waiting. Here is what nobody tells you about that moment. That was not weakness. That was not you giving up. That was your body doing something remarkable. Your brain has a built-in protection system. Think of it like a circuit breaker in your home. When too much electricity runs through the wires, the breaker trips. Not because it failed, because it worked. Your nervous system works the same way. When you have been drained too many times, when you have given more than you have received, your brain makes a decision. It says enough, not in words. It happens underneath the thinking, underneath the reasoning. Your body just stops. The calls feel heavy, the conversations feel hollow. Being around certain people starts to feel like carrying something not yours. And slowly, without a single dramatic moment, you start to pull away. This is not you being difficult or cold. This is one of the oldest survival tools the human body has. The question is, where did your system first learn that people were something to protect yourself from? For most people who do this, the answer goes back further than they want to look. Think about the home you grew up in. Did you learn to read the room before you could read a book? Did you know the sound of the front door? Did you learn that love came with conditions? That the safest thing you could do was make yourself small and stay quiet? You did not develop trust issues. You developed accurate observations. You watched. You learned. You adapted. You had to sense the shift in a room before the storm arrived. And you got very, very good at it. That skill did not disappear. It is the reason you spotted the red flags others missed. That is wisdom. So here's where it all connects. Your brain built a system to protect you, and you carried that into adulthood. People called it cold. They called it walls. But you were not pushing people away. You were filtering. The loud, chaotic, draining ones. Gone. And what was left? Quiet. The kind that feels like, finally, one is running away. One is choosing peace on purpose. By the end, you will know exactly which one you are. There is something important we need to talk about. Because not everyone who cuts people off is doing the same thing. And if you are being honest with yourself, you already know which one you are. There are people who pull away out of fear. They are not at peace in the quiet. They are hiding in it. They cut people off and then spend the nights replaying conversations, wondering if they made a mistake, wondering if they are the problem, feeling the ache of it but not knowing how to go back. That is not peace. That is a wall. And walls do not care who they keep out, the good ones, the safe ones, the ones who would actually show up differently. A wall stops all of it. Then there is another kind of person. They pull away and the silence feels clean. Not empty. Clean. They do not spend nights wondering if they were too harsh. They made a decision based on what they watched, what they felt, what they lived through. That is not a wall. That is a boundary. A wall is built from fear of being hurt again. A boundary is built from knowing your own worth. One says, I cannot let anyone in because I do not trust myself to survive it. The other says, I will let the right ones in. Ask yourself honestly, which one sounds more like you? The intelligence nobody credits you for, the ability to walk away from people, Calmly, without drama, without burning everything down is one of the rarest emotional skills a person can have. Most people stay too long. In friendships that stopped feeding them years ago. In relationships where they are clearly the only one trying. They stay because leaving feels like failure, because they confused suffering with devotion. You did not make that mistake. That your time is not something you owe anyone. That your energy is not a public resource. Showing up for everyone while empty is not kindness. The people who call you cold, they are often the ones who benefited most from your warmth. You just stopped being convenient. That ability to see the difference between genuine connection and emotional transaction, that is intelligence. Quite intelligence. Solitude is not loneliness. The world has a problem with people like you, because the world is loud. It rewards busy. And then it looks at you, sitting in your space, phone face down, no plans, completely at ease, and it calls that a problem. There's a word for what you have found. And it is not isolation. It is not loneliness. The word is solitude. Loneliness is when you want connection and cannot find it. Solitude is when you are with yourself, and that is exactly enough. For a long time, you could not hear yourself. There was always someone else's crisis taking up space. Someone else's mood changing the temperature. The quiet is not emptiness. The quiet is what you sound like when nobody is drowning that out. Who deserves back in? Real peace is not about being alone. It is about being selective. And there's a difference. Here is what the people who deserve a place in your life look like. They do not make you feel tired after every conversation. You do not have to manage their reaction to your honesty. They show up when there is nothing in it for them. One person who actually sees you is worth more than 20 people who only see what you can do for them. Harvard ran a study on happiness for 75 years. The answer was not success. It was the quality of your close relationships. So if your circle is small, if it is just 2 or 3 people who you actually trust, you are not doing life wrong. You are doing it with precision. Conclusion: you have been called cold. You have been called distant. None of that is true. You finally respect fire. You are not broken. You found out who you actually are without the noise of everyone else's needs telling you. And that person is someone worth protecting, not with walls, but with the knowledge that your peace is not a negotiation. Your energy is not a charity. Your softness is not weakness. Go gently, protect your peace, and trust what you already know.